Hello, how are you? I'm so glad to be here with you. So excited for our time together again as we talk about, oh dreamer, your dreams and how to make them real, how to make them come to life. Hopefully, that wasn't too squeaky as I moved the mic closer. Today is your day, dreamer. Today is the day to know that your dreams have wings and that you're going to fly. You've dreamt of it. You remember the song, I Believe I Can Fly? You remember that song? Well, now is your time to fly. Now is your opportunity to be all that you've ever dreamt you were going to be. It's always been there for you. There's just a little bit, a little something that needs to move you back into the space of being a dreamer. And not just a dreamer, but seeing the dream fulfilled. My name is Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of just a whole bunch of books. I've worked with literally thousands upon thousands of authors in every bit of their writing process. And you know the thing about it is that yes, I've made thousands of people bestsellers. They've reached millions with their book. But the important thing for each of them was they needed that catalyst. You see, whether you have a book and it's not a bestseller, or you know you should do a book and you'd love it to be a bestseller, or you don't even really think you need a book at all, it has really nothing to do with the book. It has everything to do with the dream that's always been inside of you, that unique, wonderful, amazing you that is you, planted deep down inside of you that must grow, blossom, and shine. And so, even as I sit here, the air conditioner finally bringing it down to about 90 degrees in this room so that I could come to talk to you. I wanted to come to you and ask you the question: do you still dream? Do you have dreams? Or do you feel like your dreams that once were are living, hanging out there unfulfilled? Maybe even they feel at this point like they're impossible. Have you stopped dreaming? Or do you still dream? If you do dream, what do you dream about? What does it look like in the middle of the night? Is it terror that comes in of all the things that could have been that aren't? Or is it the hope, that faint possibility of what if? I was laying in bed the other night, as I often do. I don't know why. I'm a very mathematical kind of person. I've often joked that I think in Excel spreadsheet. I was laying in the bed the other night, not really quite ready to go to sleep, but knowing I should. And I was totaling up in my head the different people that said they wanted to work with me and haven't yet. Are you one of those? I'm not intending to call you out, so don't worry. But as I was thinking about it, a number and it started growing, and it was like, oh wow, that's an amazing amount of money. If everybody just showed up in the morning, all of them ready to go, to pay me in full and be ready that instant. You know what I'm saying? And it never happens that way in life. I know that. That was an unrealistic pipe dream. But it was staggering to me how only moments before that I was allowing myself to feel down and like it was impossible. And just the simple concept of looking at the possibility that was right now was such an amazing possibility. And whether any of them, even if it's you, and again, I'm not judging you, whether you ever work with me, that's not the point. It's about me dreaming too. It's about me seeing the bigger. You see, I've been sharing with you a little bit my journey as I go through here. Many of you know me as a book guru. You know, I'm the guy that's helped thousands upon thousands. I have 100% success rate at making people, thousands upon thousands of people, bestsellers. I've been doing the books thing since 2007. What you may not know is that I've been a sales and marketing company since 1988. In fact, started selling when I was 5 years old. I'm 55 now, so that's 50 years of sales and marketing experience that I bring to the table. And although books have been my life for quite a bit of the last few years, There is so much more in sales and marketing that I've done. When you add to that, as I mentioned in the beginning, me being a third generation minister, and the spiritual aspect and Jesus so strong and powerful in my life. And then on top of that, being highly empathic, having the ability to, probably too much, understand and feel the depth of emotion that people are saying, expressing, and even sometimes feeling but not able to feel. And I use that powerfully to show up for everybody. I always have. I'm a dreamer. And my dreams don't just stop with me. In fact, they're usually almost always more powerful for the people around me than they are for me. You see, just like you, I have a hard time sometimes seeing the label on the outside of my jar. I know now that the map is also included on that exterior label, and I need other people in my life to tell me which way to turn up here next. I need navigators as I go through too, and so do you. You see, the dream is still very much alive inside of you. You know why I know? Because you're here right now today. It doesn't matter whether you're listening live or it's 10 years from now, from when I did this live, you're hearing this. That dream reached out from deep buried inside of you. You may not even know it's still there. You may, in fact, be convinced that the dream died a long time ago. But the truth of the matter is it's still there, still alive, still very, very powerful within you. And it's calling out to the whole of the universe, saying, "Oh God, I need to be shared." That dream was planted within you to make the difference that only you can make in the world. If you don't be the best you, nobody else can be. Sure, other people will come around and they'll say things similar to what you did. It was interesting when I was a musician and I used to be writing songs. It was interesting to look and listen to the thread of what was being said. Whether you're talking about in Christian music or you're talking about secular, it doesn't matter. There was a, if you will, inspiration thread flowing through the universe at any given time. And yet, with each one of those, the unique voice, sound, and message was so uniquely them, even though they were very much often saying pretty much the same thing. You see, you too have that powerful message. You're the water in somebody's life. You are the very breath that someone else needs to breathe. And without you showing up in the world as the best version of you, you will never reach the people who that dream planted inside of you was meant for. You see, our gifts aren't any good for us buried inside of us. Our gifts aren't any good for us if we can just look in the mirror and go, "Wow, you did that really awesome." But nobody else ever sees it. I knew a guy that was an amazingly talented musician. But none of you have ever heard of him. It's a very, very good friend of mine. And he made an impact in the world, if only the impact he made in my life, and the amazing wife and daughter that he left behind when he passed. But you've never heard of him because, with all of the things he did well, one of the things that he didn't do well was share himself and his talent with the world. It was, for the most part, something that remained hidden within the four walls of his house. Every once in a while, a few local venues, several local venues, but never really out in the world where it could have been. Now, that isn't me judging him. He's one of the best friends I've ever had in my whole life. And I still, even though we lost him a few years back, I still love and admire him. I still count him as one of my brothers. And he will always have made an indelible mark on my life. But like him, you too may be sitting there, even possibly, going on Facebook Live like I am right now and talking to the, right this very second, 0 people that are listening live. And you may have convinced yourself I've done it before. That nobody's out there, no one's listening, and no one cares. But it's not true. You see, that dream that was planted inside of you, it may feel like it died, but the seed feels like it dies when it gets buried in the ground. And then a little water touches it, maybe some fertilizer, and the fresh, wonderful ground around it, and it springs to life. And it fights its way to the surface. And then it's just a little shoot, vulnerable to the world. Sometimes our dreams are like that. Maybe yours is there right now. Maybe somebody like me needs to come in and help protect it for you. But it'll grow and grow until it's the mighty sequoia, until it's been around changing the world for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. Think of the books that you've read. Think of a book like Think and Grow Rich that was written, what, almost 100 years, maybe even more than 100 years ago now that I think about it. And yet all the impact that it's made over all of the years. Did you know that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was originally a short story in a compilation book because the publishers didn't deem it to be worthy of being published on its own? Now think of all the times and all the different movies that are either directly Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or are loosely based off of that. It was less than 50 pages, and yet, after more than 150 years, it still stands the test of time. And so too will your dream. Maybe you still do dream, and maybe you've stopped. Maybe you think the dream is lost and gone, but I'm here to tell you it isn't. There is hope. There is a way. Sure, if you're ready to do your book, I absolutely am not only ready, I am sitting poised to give you the best possible option financially that I've ever given anybody to get your book done right now. That would be if you contacted me right immediately. But I'm not really focused on whether or not you do your book. What I really want to do is go that deeper level. What does it really mean? Where's the money going to come from? Who are you meant to serve? And what will your story do to change this world? To make the difference in that one precious life, that heart, that soul, that message, that dream was implanted in you, whose life, the person you share it to, will change forever. Today is your day, O dreamer. Even if you don't feel like you're still dreaming, even if you feel like the dream is dead, it's still very much alive. It's ready to break the surface. And yeah, it will be the small, tiny little plant. But I've got you. All you need to do is go to askstevekid.com, AskStevekidd.com. That was 3 Ds. I didn't enter it though. I just posted that for you. And now you can too. Schedule a time. It's also in the description. Schedule a time to meet with me. Let's talk about who you are, where you are, what you were meant to serve. Let me bring the vision to your vision, the dream back to your dream, the life back into that thing you were meant to do in the world. You, oh dreamer, there's still so much more. I see it. I already feel it. Now I just want the opportunity to help you do it. This call is a free 15 minutes. If I can help you in that time, great. And if we need to do more, we'll talk about that then. Right now, I just want to help you, dreamer. I want to help you know that dream is still alive. And whether you do still dream or not, that it's time for sure for you to dream again. Now is your time, O dreamer, to live exceedingly, abundantly, above all you can ask or even think, to be thriving and truly free. Thanks so much for being here with me. I look forward to talking to you. Go to AskSteveKid.com, schedule a time so we can get together and talk for free. I want to see you change the world. Thanks for being here. Till we're together again next time. Have a great week.